The long return. The vessel slipped out of fold space above a blue world it had known before, long before memory calcified into myth. Commander Vale pressed 4 of his 6 fingers against the observation glass. Below, the planet glittered. Familiar. Oceanic. Green at the poles where ice had been. He had seen it last when the dominant species was still learning to chip stone. 500,000 years. To Vale's people, the Serati, that was 3 generations. 3 long, peaceful cycles of deep space wandering. They had left seeding markers here. Biological primers. Architectural nudges pressed gently into the clay of a species barely standing upright. "Begin descent," he said. His voice was calm. His hands were not. What the scanners found. The data came in before they hit the upper atmosphere. Navigator Isori read it aloud in a flat voice, the voice she used when she was frightened. Nitrogen-oxygen ratio unchanged. Radiation bands, elevated but survivable. Carbon signatures in the lower atmosphere, she paused. Anomalous. Dense. Post-combustion layering. Multiple extinction event markers in the geological record. 6 of them. The last one recent. How recent? Asked Vale. 72 of their years. Silence filled the bridge. Vale stared at the hemisphere below. Cities were still visible, angular, vast, dark. No heat signatures. No electromagnetic chatter. No satellites in orbit. Just the quiet hum of a world that had once roared. Into the ruins. They landed in what had been a coastal city. Vale knew this because the sea had reclaimed the eastern third of it. Towers stood waist-deep in dark, still water. Streets had become river channels. What the ocean had not taken, the forest had, pale, bone-white trees with no leaves, only reaching branches, growing through windows and up through broken floors. Vale walked. His boots crunched on something. He looked down, glass. Melted once, rehardened. The whole street was paved in it, fused smooth. Whatever heat had done this had been absolute. Isori crouched beside a corroded plaque, brushing away a mat of pale fungus. Beneath it, a face, cast in bronze, human, mouth open mid-speech. A monument. A species that made monuments to its speakers. They built language into stone, she said quietly. They wanted to be remembered. Vale did not answer. He was looking at the shadows on the wall behind her. Dozens of them, burned into the white stone. Outlines of figures, arms raised, mouths open. The city's last moment, pressed permanently into its architecture. What the archive held. Deep in a buried structure, the ship's probe found something intact, a data vault, shielded in a material the Serati themselves had seeded into the species' early metallurgy. They had built it to last. The species had found it, used it, and built their own archive inside. Vale stood in the probe's light and watched the record unfold. A civilization of extraordinary beauty. Music encoded in mathematical spirals, paintings made of light, children laughing in open plazas beneath clean skies. Then the record accelerated, centuries compressed into minutes. The sky changed. The temperature rose. Wars began over water, then land, then air. The archive held everything, the arguments, the denials, the brief moments of unity that almost turned the tide, and finally, nothing. A date. A silence. They had known. There were thousands of records of people who knew. Who documented, who pleaded, who built small rafts of hope and launched them into an indifferent current. They had seen it coming and still could not stop it. Not because they lacked intelligence. They had built this vault. They were brilliant. They simply could not agree in time. The terrifying discovery. Vale sat on the steps outside the vault for a long time. Isori eventually sat beside him. Neither spoke. The white trees moved in a windless sky, their pale branches ticking softly against each other like counting fingers. We seeded them, he finally said. Yes. We gave them the architecture of thought. The impulse toward tools, toward language, toward cities. He paused. We are responsible for what they became. We couldn't have known. That's what they said. He looked at her. In the archive. That's exactly what they said. Every generation. We couldn't have known. We didn't have enough information. We had no choice. He stood. We did this. And somewhere, right now, there are 12 other worlds we seeded the same way. Isori looked up at the sky. Vale was already walking back to the ship. The most terrifying discovery was not a dead planet. It was the mirror.